754 Pope Stephanus Roman II arrives in Pontian. In 1325 Afonso Roman IV succeeds Denis as King of Portugal. In 1558 Calais, last English possession in France, retaken by France. In 1566 Antonio Michel Giscleria is elected Pope Pius V. In 1584 last day of the Julian calendar in Bohemia and the Holy Roman Empire. In 1598 Boris Godunov seizes Russian throne on death of Fyodor I. In 1608 fire destroys Jamestown, Virginia. Galileo discovers Jupiter's moons. 1610 Galileo Galilei discovers the first 3 moons of Jupiter, Io, Europa and Ganymede. Murder trial of Elizabeth Bathory. 1611 Trial of Hungarian aristocrat Elizabeth Bathory for killing and torturing hundreds of young women, later sentenced to house arrest for the rest of her life. In 1622 Germany Transylvania sign Peace of Nikolsburg. In 1654 fire after heavy storm destroys 2/3 of De Rape, Netherlands. 1 person dies. Peter the Great visits England. 1698 Russian Tsar Peter the Great departs Netherlands for England. In 1714 typewriter patented by Englishman Henry Mill built years later. In 1782 first U.S. commercial bank, Bank of North America, opens in Philadelphia. 1784 first U.S. seed business, established by David Landreth, Philadelphia. 1785 first balloon flight across English Channel by Jean-Pierre Blanchard and John Jeffreys. In 1790 French Revolution, a major riot breaks out in Versailles as people demand lower bread prices. In 1797 first official use of the modern Italian flag, the tricolor, by the Cispadane Republic. 1817 Second Bank of U.S. opens in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 1822 first printing in Hawaii of a ceremonial broadside for King Kamehameha II by Elisha Loomis. In 1820, 2 free American blacks establish a settlement on Providence Island, off the coast of West Africa, later becomes the city of Monrovia, Liberia. In 1822 Liberia colonized by the American Colonization Society. 1831st U.S. Railroad Station opens in Baltimore. In 1835 HMS Beagle anchors off Chonos Archipelago. Stabat Mater. 1842 Gioacchino Rossini's Cantator Stabat Mater premieres at the Theatre Italien S. Alventador in Paris, France. In 1861 Florida troops take over Fort Marion at St. Augustine. U.S. Civil War. In 1868 Arkansas Constitutional Convention meets in Little Rock. In 1868 Mississippi Constitutional Convention meets in Jackson. In 1890 African-American inventor William Purvis receives a patent for the fountain pen. In 1890, 2 mine explosion kills 100 in Krebs, Oklahoma. Blacks trying to help rescue white survivors, driven away with guns. In 1893 Hermann Sudermann's play Heimat premieres in Berlin. Fred Ott Esnes. 1894 William Kennedy Dixon captures Fred Ott Esnes as a motion picture at Thomas Edison's Black Maria Studio in West Orange, New Jersey. 1. In 1896 Fanny Farmer publishes her first cookbook, the Boston Cooking School Cookbook. Teatro Amazonas. 1897 Teatro Amazonas in Manaus, Brazil, opens with a performance by Italian tenor Enrico Caruso. In 1899 Walter Camp publishes his first All-American football team in Collier S. In 1903 Vincent D. Inda's opera El Etranger premieres in Brussels. First international distress signal. 1904 Marconi Co. establishes CQD Seeking You. Distress, as first international radio distress signal not adopted universally. In 1907 Clyde Fitch's play The Truth premieres in NYC. In 1908 England beat Australia by 1 wicket at the MCG. In 1910 Stanley Cup, DS Arena, Ottawa. On, Ottawa Senators beat Galton 3-1 for a 2-0 sweep of Challenge Series. In 1911 Dutch Scouts organisation established in Amsterdam. In 1913 William M. Burton patents a process to crack petroleum. In 1915 World War I, Germany as Kaiser Wilhelm approves strategic bombing of Britain, but forbids bombing London, fearing his relatives in the royal family might be killed. Maritime warfare 1916. In response to pressure from President Woodrow Wilson, Germany notifies the US State Department that it will abide by strict international rules of maritime warfare. In 1919, Montenegrin guerrilla fighters rebel, but failed to prevent Serbia's annexation of Montenegro. In 1919, the Industrial and Commercial Workers' Union of South Africa is founded, led by Clements Kadele. In 1925, duly elected socialist assemblymen are denied by the New York State Assembly. In 1923, Baltimore Sun warns of the Ku Klux Klan. In 1927, commercial transatlantic telephone service inaugurated between New York and London. In 1927, Harlem Globetrotters play their first game in Hinckley, Illinois. 1929, Buck Rogers sci-fi comic strip's first appearance in a newspaper. Fascist organization Ustra. A 1929 Croatian nationalist and fascist movement. Ustra are founded by Ante Pavley in exile in Italy. In 1929, French inventor Robert Bureau launches the first radio sonde, a battery-powered telemetry instrument carried into the atmosphere to measure various parameters and transmit them by radio to a ground receiver. Tarzan 1929, one of the first adventure comic strips, Tarzan, is first published. In 1930, Edwin Justice Mayer's Children of Darkness premieres in NYC. In 1930, French physicist Marguerite Perry discovers francium Fr, the last naturally occurring element discovered. In 1931, Guy Menzies flies the first solo non-stop trans-Tasman flight from Australia to New Zealand in 11 hours and 45 minutes. Crash landing on New Zealand's west coast. 1932, first game played at Orchard Lake Curling Club, Mitch. 1933, first edition of People Fatherland published in Netherlands. 1934, Flash Gordon comic strip created and drawn by Alex Raymond debuts. In 1935, Zoe Akin's Old Maid premieres in NYC. In 1936, tennis champs Helen Moody Howard Kinsley volley 2001 times 1H18M. In 1939, US labor union leader Thomas Mooney freed from prison and later pardoned based on perjured testimony. He had been jailed since 1916 on charges related to an anarchist bombing in San Francisco. In 1940, Winter War